there! Exciting news! Allow me to introduce myself.
The stage is dark, soft sounds of a forest at twilight can be heard. Leaves rustle, an owl hoots gently. A faint ethereal glow begins to appear. Center stage. It is small at first, like a distant star. The air itself seems to hum with a quiet energy, an old and patient magic that waits. The glow grows steadier, it does not threaten, it invites. This is not a dark wood, it is a place of secrets. A place where stories might awaken from long slumbers. The scent of old trees and damp earth seems to fill the air, or perhaps that's just the theater's new fog machine. It's hard to tell sometimes, even from in here. But the magic feels real enough tonight, doesn't it? A subtle thrumming beneath the floorboards. Slowly the light defines itself. It becomes a sphere, a perfect crystalline orb. It floats, or perhaps rests on an unseen pedestal. It pulses with a gentle inner light. Colors shift within it like captured nebulae. It is beautiful. It is ancient. It seems to be looking around, not just at the stage, but further, beyond the lights, into the darkness where you sit, waiting. A soft, clear chime echoes, just once. The orb brightens a little, it seems to take a breath. A silent, crystal breath. The forest sounds softened, expectant. Something is about to begin. The story is stirring. The lights on the orb shimmer. It is ready. Are you? Good. Let us begin this little journey into the heart of what might be, or what might have been, or what is simply happening right now, just for us. Hello out there, can you see me? I hope so. I went to a lot of trouble to be this luminous. It's not as easy as it looks, you know. Requires a certain inner focus, and a good polishing cloth, but more on that later. I am the Crystal Orb. Your narrator for this evening's little diversion, your guide through the twists and turns. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, truly. Now I know what you're thinking, a talking crystal ball, how very quaint. But I assure you I'm much more than that. I see you, all of you, in your seats. Some of you are still rustling sweet wrappers. Tisk tisk. This is a story you see, a living thing. And I am its voice, its eyes, its memory. I'm here to share its secrets with you. If you're quiet and listen closely. Stories are shy creatures after all, they don't like to be startled. We are currently in the Whispering Woods, or, to be perfectly honest, a rather well-crafted stage representation of it. The actual Whispering Woods, far too many leaves to sweep up after every performance. And the Dryads are notoriously fussy about their contracts. Plus the Wi-Fi signal is atrocious. You'd be surprised how many mythical creatures demand good streaming services these days. So we make do. Imagination is a powerful thing. Use it. Usually stories unfold themselves. Characters appear, things happen, mysteries are solved or not, but tonight, I thought we might try something a little different, a peek behind the curtain, so to speak. I'll share a few backstage tidbits, a few secrets from the scriptwriter's messy desk. It'll be our little conspiracy. Doesn't that sound like fun? I promise to be mostly truthful, mostly. A little embellishment, never heard a good tale. But before we delve too deep into the delicious secrets, we must address security. Every good story, especially one that knows it's a story, needs protection. From what, you ask? Oh, rogue plot twists, unwanted character cameos, and sometimes from audiences who get a bit too enthusiastic. No offense intended, of course, you all look perfectly civilized. From here anyway. The light can be deceiving. This is TAC. His designation is Threat Assessment Construct. Though I sometimes suspect it stands for terribly anticlimactic conclusions if he's in a mood. He never confirms nor denies. He is here to ensure the narrative integrity of our little performance, to make sure no unforeseen elements disrupt the flow, or that no particularly nasty bits of subtext try to escape and run amok in the real world. He takes his job very, very seriously. He doesn't speak, not with words anyway. He observes, he protects. He is the silent guardian at the gates of this story. Think of him as the ultimate firewall, but for metaphysics, he ensures that only the intended magic gets through, and that any evil attempting to sneak in via a misplaced semicolon or a poorly timed dramatic pause is dealt with, quietly, efficiently. He's quite good, a little bit unsettling if you're a mischievous plot device, but excellent for peace of mind. Right then, security is in place, TAC is looking suitably vigilant, excellent. Now where were we? Ah yes, secrets. I promised you secrets. Let's start with this very play, the one you're watching unfold. Did you know it was originally conceived as a grand opera? Yes, with soaring arias and dramatic recitatives. But then we saw TAC's audition for the lead baritone. Let's just say his vocal range is limited to a low hum. The rewrites were extensive. And our intended hero for this evening's adventure, Sir Kalen the Brave? Well, he's running a tad late. Actors, you know. Always a flair for the dramatic entrance, or the dramatically missed one. Last I heard, his griffin had a flat tire over the Dragon's Tooth Mountains, or perhaps he simply misplaced his script. It happens. Scripts are notoriously good at hiding, especially when you need them most. They congregate with lost socks, I believe. Speaking of things backstage, you would not believe the snack situation. The catering department has truly outdone itself this season. There are these tiny elven-made scones that taste of sunlight and blueberries. And the coffee, brewed by actual goblins who take their barista skills very seriously. I'd offer to share, but TAC has very strict rules about interdimensional food transfer. Something about temporal displacement of crumbs. He can be such a stickler for the small print. Oh, and the magnificent whispering wood set you see before you, a triumph of recycling. Most of these majestic trees once graced the stage in a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream, with extra squirrels, and that rather gnarled branch, stage left. Rumor has it it was once part of the gallows in a very serious historical drama. We try to be eco-conscious in the storytelling business, waste not, want not, especially when it comes to perfectly good props with dramatic pasts. Section 5. When dragons order pizza, fantasy worlds, aren't they grand, full of noble quests, shimmering magic and creatures of legend? But even in these fantastical realms, the mundane has a way of creeping in. Take dragons, for example, magnificent beasts, breathing fire, hoarding treasure, and, like many of us, they get cravings, usually around midnight, often for pizza. With extra, well, let's just say their topping choices can be rather controversial, especially if you happen to be a knight. The logistics of delivering a pizza to a dragon's lair are, as you can imagine, fraught with peril. The poor delivery sprites, they have to navigate treacherous mountain passes, avoid territorial griffins, and then there's the payment. Dragons are notoriously bad tippers, and they often try to pay in cursed gold, which plays havoc with the pizzeria's accounting systems. We actually had a dragon character in an early draft, but he was cut, budgetary reasons, and his rider demanded organic, gluten-free lembas bread. It's rather amusing, isn't it? We dream up these incredible beings, these worlds of high adventure, and then we immediately start wondering about their practicalities. Do unicorns need special shoes? How do giants find clothes that fit? What about the plumbing in a wizard's tower? I once knew a wizard whose gargoyles kept complaining about the water pressure. It completely ruined his attempts at summoning elder gods. They hate low water pressure apparently. Very particular, elder gods. And don't even get me started on the bureaucracy of enchanted kingdoms. The permits required for potion brewing are legendary. The environmental impact assessments for castle construction? Nightmarish. And the trolls recently unionized. They demanded better bridge maintenance stipends and hazard pay for dealing with riddling heroes. It caused quite the slowdown in heroic quests last autumn. Progress, I suppose. Even for trolls under bridges, they deserve fair working conditions. Now let's turn our attention to you. Yes, you, all of you, sitting there so patiently, or perhaps not so patiently. I see you fidgeting in the back row. You think you're merely spectators, don't you? Just passive observers of this little charade. But you are so much more than that. You are the lifeblood of this story. Without your attention, your imagination, this is just an empty room, and I am just a rather pretty lamp. Every time you lean forward, intrigued. Every time a smile touches your lips, every shared gasp. Those reactions, those emotions, they feed the story. They give it weight. They make it real in this moment, in this shared space. You are weaving this tale with me. Your belief is the magic that makes these painted trees feel like a forest. It's a powerful collaboration, this act of storytelling. More powerful than you might think. TAC appreciates it too. He gets so glum when the narrative energy is low. You, sir, in the third row with the rather dashing hat. Did you have a pleasant journey here tonight? I do hope so. And the young lady near the aisle with the bright pink hair. Wonderful. Such a cheerful statement. You see, I notice these things. We are connected, you and I, by the threads of this story. For this little while, we are all inhabitants of the same dream. Isn't that a rather lovely thought, sharing a dream all together? So tell me, what do you imagine will happen next? Our hero is still missing. The stage is set. A silent guardian watches. What grand adventure awaits? Or perhaps what comical mishap? Feel free to whisper your theories to your neighbor. Ah, some fascinating ideas. One of you suspects a goblin invasion, another a surprise tap dancing number. Tack, take note of the tap dancing suggestion. It has potential, or possibly dread. He's hard to read. All right, enough about you. Charming as you all are, let us return to our lack of a hero currently. But drama, as they say, abhors a vacuum. Or is that nature? I always get those two mixed up. In any case, stories have a curious habit of finding their own way, even when the main character has apparently decided to take an unscheduled detour through the mists of indecision. That's unexpected. The air in here just changed. Did you feel it? A little prickle, like a forgotten password trying to resurface, or the moment you realize you've left your keys inside the locked house. That sort of feeling. A subtle shift in the expected narrative. This wasn't in the rehearsal notes I skimmed earlier. I do hope it's something interesting. Static plots are so very dull, don't you find? I believe our silent friend has noticed it too. Tack might appear to be merely a decorative piece of oversized armor, but he misses nothing, absolutely nothing. His internal sensors are probably registering something, a deviation, an anomaly. Look at him, he hasn't moved a muscle. But if you could see under that helmet, I wager his single eyebrow is raised. Metaphorically speaking, of course, I'm not sure he actually has eyebrows. This is often the most exciting part of any story. The moment when the predictable path veers off into uncharted territory. When the script itself seems to hold its breath, wondering what will happen. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but without the tedious page flipping. What could it be, this little ripple in the fabric of our evening? A lost muse? A forgotten plot point demanding attention? Or perhaps just the theater cat deciding to make its stage debut? One can only hope. There's a distinct buzz in the air now. Not an alarming buzz, more like the hum of a refrigerator contemplating deep philosophical questions, or the sound just before your phone rings with unexpected news. A sort of anticipation, a sense that the story is about to take a sharp left turn, possibly into a hedge. But hopefully a very interesting hedge, full of secrets and maybe a lost button or two. Tack remains a statue, a very alert statue. I can practically hear the cogs whirring in that magnificent head of his. His threat detection subroutines are no doubt running at full capacity. Is it a villain, a monster, a rogue semicolon attempting to create a run-on dimension? He's ready for anything. Though, I must admit, his definition of threat can be quite broad. He once tried to neutralize a particularly aggressive metaphor I was fond of. We had words. Well, I had words. He hummed ominously. In a typical narrative structure, this is the point where we might expect a dramatic entrance. Perhaps the villain, swathed in shadows and monologuing about their tragic backstory. Or maybe the long-lost twin of the missing hero, arriving to save the day with an identical yet slightly more charismatic personality. Or, given the tone of this evening, it could be a flock of bewildered sheep who've wandered in from a pastoral romance next door. The possibilities are delightfully varied. Our writer, you see, has a fondness for the absurd. But this disturbance, it doesn't feel overtly menacing. It doesn't have the dramatic flair of a proper antagonist. It feels more flustered. Yes, that's the word. Flustered, like someone who has realized they've worn mismatched socks to a very important occasion. Or a ghost who has forgotten why it's haunting a particular corridor. It feels almost backstage. How very curious. This could be more amusing than I initially anticipated. Hold on, wait just a moment. That specific frequency of fluster, that particular aura of mild panic, I know it. It's not a creature from the nether realms. It's not a plot hole trying to swallow the scenery. Oh, for goodness sake, it's him. Ladies, gentlemen, and assorted beings of indeterminate origin. Our great disturbance, the source of Tack's heightened vigilance, the mystery that has kept us all on the edge of our seats. It is Barry. Barry, the assistant stage manager. He was supposed to deliver my special anti-static polishing cloth before the curtain rose. Barry, you had one task. My glow is feeling distinctly suboptimal because of your tardiness. Now, Barry, don't look so petrified. Tack isn't going to disintegrate you. His protocols are primarily for dealing with existential narrative threats, not forgetful stage crew. Mostly. You see? This is where the real drama happens. Forget your epic battles and cursed artifacts. The true quest is often for a misplaced prop or a vital cue missed. It's the small human errors that make the grand cosmic theater so entertaining. So our hero is still AWOL. The imminent peril turned out to be Barry and my duster, and my luminescence is perhaps not quite at its peak performance. But wasn't that a delightful little detour? The best stories I find are those that surprise even their narrators. It keeps us on our toes. Or in my case, on my, well, whatever it is I rest upon. Now if you'll all excuse me, I believe I need to have a gentle but firm discussion with Barry about the critical importance of pre-show orb maintenance. And perhaps I can finally get that recipe for the dragon-shaped cakes. Good night, everyone.
This concludes this episode of Unto Our Aether.